Hello there, beautiful family. Thank you so much for joining us for our amazing masterclass. I had such a good time with you all. I'm so grateful to all of you that came. And there was something that I just wanted to share on the call that I didn't manage to get to because we had so much. And that is the nature of how we actually take on energy in the first place. You know, I spoke a lot about our true nature being crystals, that we know how to alchemize energy innately. The thing is, from the minute we arrive on this beautiful Pachamama, and I go into this much more deeply in Be the Crystal, but just for you to know, we go through this process as soon as we arrive with that first breath that we take in, because in this Aini, we are always giving and receiving, right? So that is our true nature. So our first breath in is a receiving breath. And in that moment, especially because when we've come through that very first trauma that we experience, which is coming through the birth canal, we've been in this beautiful safe place, in this gorgeous amniotic fluid, hanging out there in our true nature, in the divine waters, and then all of a sudden we're through, there's bright lights, there's noise, it's cold, somebody's cutting our lifeline, you know, that's been keeping us alive for the last 9 months. And in that moment, there is a splat. It's like a dispersal of our energy. And at that point is when we forget who we really are. Before that, before we got to that point, we knew exactly who we were, we knew exactly why we were coming. We'd decided it was an adventure for us to come here to Pachamama. It's like we'd looked at the brochure, we saw what we wanted, we know what we've done before, and we're like, this time I'm going down to master this. As I said, I talk more about this in Be the Crystal, but you know, in terms of the energy and why we start to take things on and start to absorb and feel other energies begins in that moment where there's this splat. When that splat occurs, there's a dispersal of our energy. We forget who we really are, and so we go about starting to find an identity for ourselves. So we start to, rather than self-source and look on the inside, we start to go out there. Our perspective shifts and we look for validation. Good girl, bad girl, good boy, bad boy. You know, okay, if I do this, I get good girl. If I do this, I'm not loved, because our true nature is love. So we're always trying to reorient ourselves back to love, right? So we will do whatever we can to find our way back to our true nature that we were talking so much about in our call last night. So this is how we develop our conditioning and our programming. And you remember me saying about the theta brainwave state. So from the last trimester of our time in the womb until the age of 7, we're in a theta brainwave state. So all of this repetition, good girl, bad boy, bad boy, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 4 is 16, 1 plus 1 is 2, repeat. This is how the programs are locked into our being. And so we forget how to be in our center. We forget how to self-source from within and change, work with the energy here, and then project it outward so that the outer world matches our inner world. Instead, we look for out there to validate what's in here. And so we go about taking on other people's stuff. We go on taking other people's energy, beliefs, programmings, conditionings. Now, here's the thing. Part of your service here on Pachamama, as I was saying to you, is to be an alchemist of energy. It's to be a transformer of energy. So that means that with every breath that you take in, you have a choice. There are one of 2 energies available to you. Remember, I was saying the Hucha energy, which is the heavy, we're not going to label it good or bad, but it's a dense energy, a dense frequency. Or there's Sami, which is the light energy, a high frequency energy. And in any moment, both of those energies are available to us, right? So Sami energy exists everywhere around us. I'm sitting here as I'm talking to you, I'm looking out at the ocean, the mountains, the trees, you know, there's so much nature around me. It is all Sami energy. Children, Sami energy. Good music, Sami energy. Friends, laughter, Sami energy. The sun, just the light of the sun. There is Sami energy, high frequency energy everywhere. And in balance, in that complementary dualism, there are some lower frequency energies, some denser energies. You know, with the processes that are going on here where I live in Bali and Uluwatu, there's an enormous amount of very unconscious construction happening. You know, these are heavier frequencies, but they're in balance with the light. In fact, the light absolutely is more prevalent than the density, for sure. The thing is that humans tend to focus their attention onto the heavier stuff because we've been trained to do that. It's drama. It creates like an adrenaline rush when we talk about the things that are wrong. It gives us a sense of purpose. You know, if we all walked around talking about how light we feel and how beautiful everything is, then we would have quite a different experience of the world, and actually we would see the outer world shifting to match our inner being. So your responsibility is simply this: deciding in every moment, what energy are you receiving? Are you breathing in the energy of Sami, or are you taking on the energy of Hucha? And just with that simple awareness, it's very, very easy actually, and very quick, because all you need to do, even if you're not in nature, even if you can't be in nature, you can close your eyes and visualize somewhere in nature that really lights you up, that really has you feeling expanded and free. And when you connect to that beautiful gift that we have through our imagination, which is the gift from the divine. Our imagination is divine. That is your intuition. That is your psychic power. We're just told when we're kids that we're not to trust our imagination, but that's part of the false matrix that has taken us away from trusting our power, from trusting our intuition. So using your imagination to see and feel the beauty of nature, the waterfall, the ocean, the sunshine, and just simply breathing that in and breathing it into your crystal, just calling on your crystal, putting yourself inside of it, and breathing that Sami energy in from all directions, north, south, east and west, above and below. Breathe it in, fill yourself up, feel it filling your being, and consciously, even if you're not feeling good, consciously breathing that energy out. You can transform all heavy energies and dense frequencies in a single breath. It is that easy, simply by becoming conscious, simply by deciding in that moment that that's what you're going to do, simply by deciding that you are going to shift gears and shift your frequency, and then you become a conduit for healing. And not only a conduit for healing, but you begin to become a magnet for manifestation, for abundance. You will be so surprised at what actually arrives to you in your life, because you are now in a flow of what we call Sami Aini, which means you're consciously receiving high frequency energy, you're consciously giving high frequency energy. And in this way, you are never afraid of the denser energies, because you know the truth of who you really are. You know yourself as the crystal. You know yourself as the highest frequency of love and light. So even if somebody else is going through something big and you have density in front of you in some way, you have two choices. You can either take that density on and make it yours, because that's what we do as humans too. We're kind of like Gollum with the ring. We're like, mine, my precious, mine, my story, my heavy energy. We feel the heavy energy and then we attach it to a story and we own it as ours. We don't realize that we've actually taken that from somewhere else, from something else. And our job in our infinite wisdom is to alchemize it, transform it, and we can do it with a single breath, right? Even if you're not feeling good. So that's as simple as it needs to be. A breath in, a breath out, consciously breathing in Sami energy. If you take in the density even, you breathe it in and you feel it merge in with the light of the sun that you are, that's within you. You let it transform and alchemize within you, using the visualization, the power of nature to do that. Using your crystal and, you know, this is why sometimes in medicine ceremonies we sigh a lot. Sighing is a purge, sighing is alchemy. It's that simple. So there's a little simple practice that I wanted to add, and also just a little nugget of wisdom as to why we even take this on in the first place. That false identity, by the way, that we create for ourselves by looking out there to pull all of our pieces together and try and figure out who we are, we call that the ego. That's all the ego is. It's just a false identity. And the breaking down of the ego is nothing more than us realizing that we're not the sum of those programs and conditions, that everything that we thought we were didn't belong to us in the first place. And in fact, it didn't even belong to the people that gave it to us either, because it was given to them. It was given to them. It was given to them. But our job is to be the chain breakers, right? We're here to get conscious and to ferry in a new way and to return to our truth, our remembering, our essence, our light of who we really are, and write our own program, write our own story, and become that alchemist, that conduit to transform, transmute, to receive, to give this beautiful high frequency energy. And of course, when it comes time for us to leave this beautiful Pachamama, to leave this earth, our last breath is a so our first breath is our last breath is it's an out breath. So we want to make it count. We want to make that last breath count. What is our legacy? What are we giving? What are we leaving here for others to receive from? And that really is our life's purpose, right? To be, as I say at Anchoring the Light, to be the best seeds that we can be, so that at the end of our life, when we're planted back into Pachamama and return to our divine origins, thousands more like us can come. Thank you so much, everybody. And if you'd love to receive Be the Crystal, I'm more than happy to give it to you for $111. It's normally $333. It's a group container over a month, and I hope, I know, actually, no thinking about it, I know that you'll receive a lot from it that will be in great service to you, your families and communities. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope everybody is thriving. I love you. We're all in this together. Tupananchis kama. Bye for now.